Hello and welcome to the Story Club. I'm Faith Moore, and this is Lesson 6 of How to Write Fiction. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you about dialogue. The Story Club is a place for writers, readers, and story enthusiasts to engage with the stories they love. If you're watching this video on YouTube, you can find a link to my website, faithkmoore.com, in the description to learn more. This course consists of 10 videos designed to teach you how to plan and craft your story. All 10 videos are completely free to watch. If you'd like to practice the skills I explain in the videos, you can visit faithkmoore.com to order writing prompts. A writing prompt is an assignment that helps you practice a particular writing skill. Once you've filled out the prompt, you send it to me and I give you personalized feedback to help you improve. Visit faithkmoore.com and click on Course Offerings, then How to Write Fiction for more info, or just check the description of this video. If you're already watching this from my website, there's more info right on this page. In Lessons 1 through 4, I took you through a series of steps to plan out your story. Lesson 5 began a series of lessons on craft, otherwise known as how to write. In that lesson, we talked about voice, the way your narrator talks, but your characters need to talk too. And they need to talk the way they would talk, not the way you do, and not in some generic way that doesn't sound like a real person at all. Also, they need to say the right things that character would say, that advance the plot, reveal the character's emotions, and engage the reader. So, how do you write good dialogue? There are 2 things to remember when writing dialogue. The first is what the character says, and the second is how he says it. Even though you want your dialogue to sound believable, the things your characters say won't actually be completely realistic. For example, if 2 real people meeting for the first time discover that they were in the same kindergarten class, the conversation would probably go through a lot of, so what do you do? Oh, I'm a lawyer. How about you? I'm an accountant, blah, 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 before they got to the thing about their school connection. But that's really boring and bogs down your narrative and takes away from the emotional impact of the fact that these characters have actually met before. Instead, you want to create a conversation that leads really quickly to the revelation you're trying to get to. Maybe she sees him signing the bill and notices he has really neat handwriting. So he laughs and rolls his eyes and says, Mrs. Romany from kindergarten would disagree. Oh my gosh, Mrs. Romany from Arrowtree Elementary? You get the idea. This same principle is true for conversations where the reader already knows something the characters don't. Like, if the characters are in a military briefing room and the reader already knows the basic situation, the characters shouldn't rehash it in conversation, even if that's what they would really do. You can have someone say something like, Corporal Winters briefed me earlier, or the narrator can say something like, Corporal Winters briefed the group. Personally, I like the first option better. Let me just pause briefly to say thank you so much for being here. I hope you're enjoying this course. If you'd like to connect further, I hope you'll consider becoming a Story Club VIP. If you'd like to join a community of writers and readers and get exclusive content from me, visit my website, faithkmoore.com, and click on Community for more info. I hope you'll join us. Okay, back to the lesson. Your characters are probably also funnier, crazier, more heroic, sadder, weirder, etc. than people in real life. Or maybe not. They might speak more clearly, with fewer ums and ahs, and have better comebacks than real people. But be careful that they don't come across as wooden. Though you might write something like blood gushed from his femoral artery, a person probably wouldn't say, help, blood is gushing from my femoral artery, unless he's a doctor, and probably not even then. And while you don't want your characters to speak so realistically as to be unintelligible, you do want to add in filler words and pauses to make it sound believable. For example, if someone discovers their girlfriend passed out on the floor, he's probably not going to just say, call an ambulance. He's going to say, oh my God, somebody, please, somebody call 911, or whatever. You'll want to go back to the characters you created in Lesson 2 and think about who each character is, his relationships with the other characters, and how he interacts with the world. This will help you develop a voice for that character so that he sounds like him when he starts talking. For this, you have to do a lot of listening. Watch movies, read books, eavesdrop at coffee shops, whatever it takes. Listen to the way people talk. Listen to the way the kind of person you're writing talks. Then strip away everything that's boring and unrelated and start writing. A quick warning before we go any further. Be very careful about using dialogue for exposition. A character who says things like, "Remember Sheila? She gave me the map that led us to the ruined city of Arun, but she had to leave to rescue her father. Well, she's back now," doesn't sound believable in the slightest. Dialogue can provide exposition in very specific circumstances, like two characters talking about something one of them knows about and the other doesn't. But it can't go on too long, and the situation has to be orchestrated so that these two people really would have this conversation. And it's best to add an emotional element too, like a guy is explaining the system that tracks tornadoes to a girl at a bar he's trying to impress, but she just thinks he's a total nerd, for example. A good rule of thumb: if you feel like your dialogue is getting bogged down in extraneous information, or the way the characters are speaking sounds wooden or forced, ask yourself what the emotional point of the conversation is, and hold that at the center of what you're writing. Are the characters falling in love? Do they hate each other? Are they speaking in code because they're being watched? Keep that in mind as you write, and your dialogue should liven up. While we're on the subject of your characters, let's move on to how to insert descriptions of them seamlessly into your story. That's the next lesson. See you there. Thanks for watching How to Write Fiction. Remember, if you'd like to receive writing prompts and personal feedback tied to each lesson, visit faithkmoore.com and click on Course Offerings, then How to Write Fiction for more info. Or just check the description of this video. Also on my website, you can click on Editing Services to learn how to hire me to edit your work. Or you can click on Community to find me on Locals. Happy writing!